Hello, this is Kathleen Flynn from the law offices of Kathleen M. Flynn, LLC in Decatur. We handle Social Security disability cases for children and adults at all levels. After you file an application or denied, we file a request for reconsideration. We also, when you're denied at the reconsideration level, which is the second level at Disability Adjudication Services, we file a request for hearing. We proceed to the Appeals Council and file a letter brief if you're denied by an administrative law judge, and we go to U.S. District Court and handle hearings upon remand. We also help veterans with service-connected VA benefits. Today I'm going to focus on the approval rates at the various levels of the Social Security Administration. In the future, I'd like to do the same for veterans service-connected benefits. So our office is located in Georgia. If you're interested in finding out the approval rates, you can go to an FOIA table on the Social Security Administration's website, and you can see what the approval rate is in your state, and I'll include a link at the end of this video. As far as Georgia, after you file an application and your case is sent to Disability Adjudication Services, your chances of winning are 35.3%. So that's about 3 or 4 out of 10 cases are approved. You have a better chance of winning at the initial level in Georgia than you do at the reconsideration level, which is only 14.5%. That's about 1 to 2 out of 10 that are approved. And I believe that's because the better cases are approved at the initial level. Now in Atlanta, the approval rate's slightly higher at the initial level, 36.4%, but it's lower at the second level, 13.9%. It's pretty low. However, don't be despondent, because there are a variety of factors that the Social Security Administration will consider other than just you looking at a statistic. Your age is very important. A lot of my colleagues, unlike us, will not take any cases of individuals under age 50, and I'll explain why. If you're 55 years or older, the Social Security Administration will consider whether or not you meet the requirements of a medical vocational guideline, also called a grid rule. You'd have to show that you can't do any of your past work in the last 15 years, and you'd have no transferable skills. You'd be limited to essentially 20 pounds of lifting, occasionally 10 pounds frequently, and standing walking up to 6 hours a day. If you're age 50 to 55 and are limited to essentially sedentary work and can't do your past relevant work in the last 15 years, and have no transferable skills and can't lift more than 10 pounds occasionally or 5 pounds frequently, you could be found disabled in this grid rule. So the more challenging cases are the ones where they're under age 50, and a lot of my colleagues don't take these cases, but we do. If you're under age 50, it would be helpful if your treating surgeon or internist or specialist would fill out a physical capabilities evaluation form stating that you can't work more than 6 hours a day, or you'd have limitations such as you would miss more than 2 days a month of work. If you're seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist, it would be helpful to have a mental residual functional capacity form with limitations such as marked inability to concentrate or marked inability to tolerate stress. Some other ways that the Social Security Administration may find you disabled is if you meet the requirements of their medical listings, and you can Google this and look and see if your condition's covered and whether or not you meet the requirements of a listing, for example, for sleep apnea or major depression. The Social Security Administration will also look at the results of consultative evaluations with a physical examiner or a mental examiner. And the limitations in these reports tend to be more general, such as you can't engage in prolonged standing, walking, lifting, carrying, or if it's a mental evaluation, you might not be able to follow simple instructions, or you might have moderate limitations in various areas such as concentration, persistence, and pace. So just because you don't have a high statistic chance of winning in Georgia or other states, the Social Security Administration does not break these statistics down by the factors I considered, and you can still have a strong case. So if you want to know what the approval rate at the initial and reconsideration level is in your state, then you would go to this FOIA reading room table, which will include a site, and see if your state has a higher approval rating than Georgia. Just to give you an idea, the highest approval rate is Alaska at the initial level, 69.5% approval rate. And the highest rate at the second level is in New Hampshire with 25.2% approval rate. And if you're wondering what the approval rates are at the hearing level after you get denied at the initial reconsideration level, DAS in Georgia or DDS in other states, it's actually higher this year. It's 51% 2022 than I've seen in the past. It's higher. If you want to know what the approval rate is for your judge, you would have to Google your particular judge, and we have some low-paying judges in Georgia. They're one 18 to 20% pay rate, another 30%. So if you do not prevail before the judge, then you go to the appeals council, and the appeals council, which is still within the Social Security Administration, has the lowest approval rates we've seen. The law office of Kathleen Flynn has higher approval rates than this. The appeals council, they only send back 12%, which is pretty low. They send back maybe 1 out of 10. They approve 1%, which is incredibly low. When we see an approval at the appeals council, we're ecstatic, and we tell the client that. If you don't prevail at the appeals council level, you can go to U.S. District Court, and the remand rates are higher for 2022 than I've seen in the past. 58% chance of it being sent back for another hearing. You can also start over at that level and have two things going. If you win on the case you started over on, that will make it a better case. At the hearing level, if it gets remanded from U.S. District Court, they merge the approval case with the remanded case. And sometimes the appeals council will say everything's open for review, but a lot of times they'll say that they affirm the approval on the second claim and the prior periods issued for review before the judge. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact our office. We'll have the contact information at the end. Our number is 404-479-4431. We travel around the country. We have clients who move, and sometimes they would prefer a video hearing or a phone hearing, but we will travel. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening to this video, and stay tuned for further videos. Have a great day.